The 2011 Senator John Heinz Community Advocate Award is presented to John Lucas, the author of Escape from Davao. John's book tells the forgotten story of a group of American soldiers, sailors, and Marines who survived the battles to defend the Philippines at the beginning of World War II, then survived the Bataan Death March and months of captivity in Imperial Japanese POW camps, and then succeeded in an amazing, large-scale escape in 1943. The book also describes what happened when this courageous group of American servicemen returned home to tell the world about the atrocities they had witnessed. Let's look at the video.
This award and this event means a lot to me personally because I'm not a big award guy. I'm not a big, I enjoy when people, send me feedback, tell me thank you, you did a great job, this is a great service to everybody involved, not only in this story, but, for people reading it. I really enjoy that. The story of Escape from Davao is, it's really a story of several battles, several wars. There's, an early part where the United States and its Filipino allies had held the Japanese back for several months on the strength of promised reinforcements. It was the largest surrender in American military history in the Philippines. Unfortunately, the Japanese had different thoughts in regards to treatment of prisoners of war than most of the Western world, and these men were brutally tortured, murdered, starved, perished through disease, and a number of other, atrocities took place while these men, were prisoners, from the Bataan Death March, which most people have heard of, to certain prison camps and their experiences there. And there was a very small group of men who had basically, they had been surrendered, but they had not surrendered themselves. And they had decided that someone had to get out and basically tell the world, tell the United States what was going on in these prison camps, what had happened since the surrender in the Philippines. And they figured that if that was the case, if something could be done, if someone could break out, that someone might be able to break the news of what was going on there. So they hoped to make a difference. They were difference makers, and I think it's unique that of all the stories in the war, where most of the time we concentrate on what an entire army does, or their biographies of famous commanders. These were just 12 unarmed men who basically won a battle of their own. After losing so many different battles, they won perhaps one of the biggest, and it ended up changing America's policy towards censorship and the distribution of war news. It changed the course of the war in terms of how the war in the Pacific was prosecuted. These men really pulled off probably the first Mission Impossible. One of the great problems I feel with writing a book is only one person's name gets to be on the cover, whereas hundreds of people, especially in this project's case, factored into the success of the project and to be able to tell the story. And so I was able to not only interview 3 of the surviving characters, who there's only one left now. When I first began, there were 3 guys left, but also their wives, their children, many different relatives who had interacted with them at some point, or had told the story. They did their part of it. Now it's my turn to do my part of it, to be the conduit, or to be the communication aspect of it, to keep that going, to be able to tell the story. A lot of these guys are, for many reasons, are either unable or unwilling, to do that, and it's my job to sort of, they fought, they survived, made it home. It's my job to, take it from there.
By the way, I've read John's book, Escape from Davao, cover to cover, and I highly recommend it. It's really terrific. And you can buy it at any major bookstore, or just go to Amazon.com. And if you want more information, you want to get the spelling of John Lucas's name or anything else, any detailed information, you can also go to my blog site, glennmeekum.com, and get more information, and then go to Amazon and buy it. It is my pleasure to present the 2011 Senator John Heinz Community Advocate Award to John Lucas.
Luckily for you guys, especially the event planners, I don't share gift of eloquence or the lust for the spotlight like General Douglas MacArthur, one of these guys who keeps popping up in all the stories that I do. To sort of echo Governor Corbett's words a few moments ago, I don't deserve this honor or award either. I think I'm just doing my job or my part of the situation. These guys went off and they all did their job, which was winning a war. They called it a job, but it was so much more than that. Almost every World War II or later Korea, Vietnam veteran that I had met, you go into their homes, nobody ever says, let's go look at my medals, or they don't want to talk about themselves. They all say, I talk about some of my buddies, I don't want to draw attention to myself, I was just doing a job. And I think some of that is rubbed off on me. I'm not a big awards guy either, but an award like this is special because it's from people who have been there and done that. And when they recognize the amount of work that you put in, it's a pretty flattering, humbling experience. I receive a lot of feedback through my website, a lot of emails, and the ones that really get me, not just the emails, are the handwritten letters and typed letters, which you can tell were actually typed on an old-fashioned typewriter, are from guys who had been there and done that. And they had told me that I had nailed it. I got everything down. I got the attitude, the lingo, the way things were back then, and they really appreciated it. One of the best examples of feedback that I received was by a gentleman that I'm sure some of you here know. His name is Dale Dye. He's probably the major military technical advisor for every big war film in Hollywood since Platoon, Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, The Pacific. I really can't say all of his comments right here because I'm sure this is a family-friendly audience, but he told me that out of all the stuff that shows up on his doorstep, that he really enjoyed my book the most. And he said that, well, this might be the Jack talking, he said, but this might be one of the best World War II books I've ever read. And he said, the only thing I can really say is bravo Zulu, well done. And in terms of communicating Captain Dye's sentiments, I would like to say bravo Zulu to everyone here at the VLP for what they have done. It's definitely a job well done, and what they will continue to do, as well as all of our military here today, active duty, retired, everyone who's ever worn a uniform. Bravo Zulu for you guys, and for everyone in the future and what they will continue to do. Thank you guys very much.